The value proposition. Today we're talking with Allisyn Howard from Ava Wellness on Behind the Book. Let's jump in. Welcome to Behind the Book, where I am your guide, Heather Andrews, unraveling the captivating stories from behind the pages. Join me as I sit down with authors from the literary landscape to delve into challenges, inspirations, and untold tales that breathe life into their written worlds. Welcome to Behind the Book. On this episode, we are talking about the value proposition once again with the great Allisyn Howard from Ava Wellness. Previously, we talked about the silent mentor and really all things intuition. But today, we're going to talk about all things values. So welcome back.
Thank you.
Excellent. So when we've talked about intuition and some of the stories that you've shared in the Culture Revolution book. So today, we're going to talk about values. Oh, values.
Oh. It's the most fun, Heather. Really, it is. Yeah. When most coaches and consultants talk about values, they're talking about your value proposition of like, what do you bring to the table for your client? I talk about that, but I also go into what are your values? What are your values of your company? What are the personal values? And how do you align those with your ideal client's values? Right. And it was really fun writing this book and reflecting on, this stuff is all values too, because it helps you stay in alignment.
Yeah.
And it makes decision making, and we as business owners or people, especially that are going to be buying a book, again, called Culture Revolution, they're looking for how can I best make these decisions and quickly, because it's way easier to make a quick decision than it is to have to deliberate constantly and be on that fence like we were talking about in a previous episode.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing too with all of this is with your chapter, The Hidden Edge, Harnessing Your Intuition and Culture, what is it that you would like the reader to take away?
I really want them to reflect on key points in their life and what little short stories kind of come up for them through their career or their life of going, I had something similar happen. Or, oh man, I clashed with management. Or this is how I worked with a team and it worked or didn't, and that kind of thing. But also, what are those defining moments like we talked about again in another episode? You have to go watch all the episodes. But
another hook.
Good job. But with all of that, going through and really looking to see are there common threads that are coming up where it's like, I made this decision, it felt really great. I made this decision, didn't really do so well, and it didn't end up well. What are those common threads through that helps you actually put a name to your values? And once you can start really aligning that values and what you want to be doing with your ideal client, or your customer or business or whatever it is, or even your family, makes it really easy to go, I value this, and when I make decisions based on this, it makes it a lot easier.
Well, I think it also, just from having done a lot of the interviews on Behind the Book for Culture Revolution, it's you attract the right people.
Yep.
And the right people attract you, right? And I think it's a cost-saving measure.
Oh, massively. It is. I spoke about this actually in a conference that you and I attended, and it's talking about values where it's when you're able to niche based on your values and align your culture based on your values, figuring out in a giant room going, there's my ideal client, there's my ideal client. Nope, not working with that. Which is, honestly, that's even better to be able to go, nope, that's whatever that is, I don't want to deal with it. Yeah. That makes business a lot easier to do, and it makes you more confident in your decision making as well. And I think part of the reason why I did it in short stories was because, again, they range from when I was 24 to 30.
Yeah.
And with that, you can actually see throughout the chapter my decision making process getting faster and me becoming more confident in my gut and being able to stand my ground.
Yeah.
And it makes it really nice when you're able to do that because, one, you can stand your own ground, but people know where they stand with you.
Yeah.
which means that people trust you
Yeah.
a lot more. They like you a lot more, even if they don't necessarily agree with your values or what you're doing or whatever. There's nothing against you.
No, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I think one of the things that I probably have learned and observed is I work with a lot of new business owners as they're, writing their stories or their lead generation book or their business card book. And one of the things that they do is they have to think that they have to take on every client. And then some of those clients cost, and then some of those clients have huge opportunities. But it can be a cost on both sides.
Yep.
So there's that energy exchange, right?
Yep.
And because when people want their first client, there's this, it's like, come, and there's that desperation.
Yep.
And then you'll end up getting yourself into a lot of hot mess.
Oh yeah, and that's something that I also teach my clients,
Yeah.
where it's, okay, one, when you are able to know your values, do all of these things, that desperation energy of like, I will take anything, which usually ends up attracting people that are going to take advantage of you.
Yep.
With that, the cost of how much work you're doing for what you're getting paid or how you're doing it is just, it's not worth it, really. And while you are going to learn a lot of lessons, because you will, it's not the lessons you have to learn. And then I teach my clients, like, okay, now that we know all of this, how do we use that with values-based niching and all of these other things? And my clients are so annoyed by the time that they're like, when they're like 2 months in with me, they're like, oh my God, I get it, it's values. I'm like, yes. It makes it easier to go out and sell.
Yep.
And be able to be in alignment, because why wouldn't you sell something? It should be as easy as recommending your favorite book or your favorite movie or anything like that. That's all sales.
Yeah.
But when you're able to combine those with your own values and make your culture based on your values, things get easier.
Yeah. I think in the very beginning of my company, I created what was called the 5 C's of publishing.
Yep.
And it was courageous, and then it's been a long time since I've reviewed those. So but it was be courage, connection, culture creation, and community.
Yeah.
And one kind of stepped on to the other, and that's how you uncovered your story.
Yep. And I would argue that those are 5 of your top values.
Yeah.
Like for me, one of my top values is coaching.
Yeah.
But it's also legacy. And legacy to me isn't necessarily, oh, I have my name on a building or whatever, but to me it's, okay, how many practitioners, because I specialize in the wellness industry, where how many practitioners can I positively impact their business so that they can go out and positively impact how many people, right? And for me, it makes it a lot easier when I'm making those decisions, being like, okay, is this a person that I want to help? Because I could help everyone, or I would want to help everyone. But as you know, you've heard me say it, I don't know how many times, please stop saying that because you can't.
Yeah.
You really can't.
Well, that's even just in my company. Like, I know how to do all things publishing. Like, I can bring to life children's books. I can bring to life quote books. I can bring to life, and these are projects that we do. Yep. But the prime reason how people know me is I am the publisher, but I help business owners share their story. That's, and then I can divide it down how I need to, depending on what group I'm in.
Exactly.
And it's not, everybody's not always built into that same box.
Yeah.
And everybody's got their own, based on their personality, about what they want their book to do.
Yeah. I've never met anybody, and neither has my mentor, met somebody who has the exact same values, because we all have different expressions of those values. Like somebody could say, oh, well, I really value my family. Okay, well, you're spending 80 hours a week in the office, but you're saying that you're valuing your family. To me, that's not what it looks like. But for you, it might be, oh, I'm spending all this time so that my family can afford things that I never did.
Right.
Kind of thing. So we might both have the same value, but how that it's expressed is very different. So that's why being in alignment with how that's going to be expressed throughout culture, your sales, all of that makes a big difference, because then you can really get in tune with your intuition of like, this is how I want to see it go. Even if all of the external voices or commentary is saying that you're doing it wrong, doing it the quote unquote right way or traditional way might not work for you.
Exactly. Yeah, I love that. And where can people find you as we wrap up our interview today?
So you can find me at avawellness.ca as well as on Instagram at Ava Wellness Business.
Excellent, thank you. And please reach out to Allisyn if you really want to understand a value system. It really can make a difference in your business, your life, your relationships, being a mom, being a dad, a sister, a daughter, a mother, or anything else in between. And make sure you catch our next episode as we continue the conversation of culture, intuition, and value proposition. And make sure you also go and get the book Culture Revolution on Amazon, because it's a game changer for your view on culture. Till next time. As we close another chapter on Behind the Book, I want to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our wonderful authors for sharing their stories. I'm Heather Andrews, reminding you that the adventure doesn't end here. Keep turning those pages, and I will see you next time.